6 million homes and businesses will be directly connected to fibre optic internet, 7 years after the Coalition rejected a similar plan by Labor. The federal government's 3-year rollout promises lightning-fast connections of up to 1 gigabyte a second, but consumers will have to pay extra for speedier access. Here's political editor Andrew Probyn.
A decision that's been buffering for 7 years.
Blazing fast broadband.
Fibre to the premises to be finally rolled out to millions of homes and businesses under a $3.5 billion upgrade.
We're now taking the logical next step in the evolution of the network.
The most extraordinary, wasteful, humiliating backflip in a generation.
Labor castigating the government for leaving millions of Australians dependent on old copper wires for so long. The pandemic testing the limits of the national broadband network with so many people working from home.
Broadband went from being a utility to actually being a lifeline.
Hello.
Video meetings, telehealth, virtual catch-ups.
We've seen a sharp spike in an existing underlying trend.
A trend that's been exponential for a decade. The average household downloads were just 10 gigabytes a month in 2010. By December last year, it was 258 gigabytes. Now it's 300, up 16% in just 9 months.
I'm not a tech head.
On coming to office in 2013,
Wow.
Tony Abbott ripped up Kevin Rudd's plan to connect homes and businesses directly to fibre, opting for a fibre to the street corner model.
Sooner, cheaper and more affordably.
But slower speeds than Labor's model, using the copper wire network bought from Telstra.
I'm confident that in the years to come, Malcolm is going to be Mr. Broadband.
This is a monumental policy backflip by the Morrison government to begin delivering to Australians what they should have had all along.
Realising some of the NBN's original ambition through fibre instead of copper will generate 25,000 jobs, but also make NBN Co a better prospect for sale. When that eventually comes, it'll make the government a tidy sum. Turns out fibre really is good for you after all. Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.
The faster NBN speeds won't be available to everyone, only those on existing fixed-line networks. And they're not cheap. Customers are currently paying up to $150 a month for the premium service. Consumer Affairs reporter Amy Bainbridge has more.
For years, Rob Slazenger battled to run his IT business with a poor NBN connection.
I had to make probably in excess of 30 complaint calls to the provider regarding either the incredibly poor speed, the lack of stability, or in fact, there was no service at all.
He's done away with NBN altogether.
I gave up, and now I depend on my mobile phone for hotspot data.
But now those on fixed-line NBN networks can look forward to a significant boost.
ACAN's been calling for a long time to have a clear upgrade path for NBN. We're really pleased that this is the beginning of seeing that plan.
The upgrade promises faster speeds of up to 1 gigabit per second. Only about 20% of homes and businesses can currently reach that speed, and they typically pay about $150 a month for the premium service. The plan is to make it available for up to 75% of homes and businesses on fixed-line networks by 2023.
That's 3 years away, and technology changes so much during that time. It's very hard to know what the demand will be.
Fibre will be rolled out close to homes, but if you want that fibre to reach your home or business to achieve the faster speeds, you'll need to order the premium service and pay for it on your monthly bill.
And it will be more expensive, so really it should only be taken up by people that absolutely need that speed, so businesses that have heavy uploads.
Rob Slazenger won't be going back to the NBN, but he believes the announcement may give other small businesses a boost.
For others, it may well produce the confidence that they will go back to the NBN.
Customers should be able to order faster services by the middle of next year, and the growing 5G network will give consumers more choice. Amy Bainbridge, ABC News.
The Morrison government will allow the national broadband network to spend another $4.5 billion building fibre to the homes. Political editor Chris Uhlmann says it's a massive backflip for the coalition, which once pledged to demolish the Rudd-era plan.
It started as a $4.7 billion election pledge.
A world-class national broadband network.
When Telstra wouldn't play ball, the Rudd government promised to build its own $43 billion fibre-to-the-home superhighway.
It is the most ambitious, far-reaching and long-term nation-building infrastructure project.
Tony Abbott pledged to kill it using his communications minister.
To entirely demolish the government on this issue.
But the communications minister killed off the Prime Minister and delivered a broadband compromise.
This project has been carefully restructured.
Now the coalition is going back to the future.
Blazing fast broadband.
Fibre to the node is out, fibre to the home is back, and what's blazing is Labor's rage.
The most extraordinary, wasteful, humiliating backflip in public policy in a generation.
Some observations are hard to avoid.
What a decade of useless and wasteful argument that was.
I certainly agree that we've had lots of pretty sterile political arguments.
The government argues the original Labor rollout, replacing every inch of copper with fibre, was taking too long and was too costly.
In 2013, we inherited a failing project.
And the architect of the original plan is withering.
I think Australians spot a policy fraud at 1,000 paces.
Under the latest proposal, NBN will borrow $4.5 billion to extend ultra-fast fibre connections to 8 million homes by 2023, giving them the option of paying for speeds of up to 1 gigabit per second. Business connections will also be upgraded and broadband in regional Australia improved.
And extending the fibre footprint of the NBN means better speeds for a whole bunch of people, and that's what we need going forward, given our demands on internet today.
Andrew Bashara works from home and he's in a broadband black hole.
Oh, it's absolutely frustrating. It's really difficult to do any sort of proper work.
The NBN has been a long time coming.
We've been promised since 2016, but the rollout date, or implementation date, just keeps on getting pushed back and back.
The Coalition will hope that the promise of superfast broadband will erase its tortured path to delivery. But some have long memories and loud voices.
Our vision was to have Australia with the best broadband services in the world.
The superfast future has been on a long, slow journey. Chris Ullman, 9 News.